Well, hello, and it is Monday, and welcome back to the channel. And I am Rochelle. So, how's everybody doing on this Monday? And it's not a rainy day's a Mondays always get me down. It is sunshiny and a little chilly here today in Tennessee. But hey, I wanted y'all to see my X page. Let's build a better world together. And if you want to follow me on X, there you go. At 2112 Rochelle E. So if y'all don't know 2112, it's one of my favorite albums and songs by Rush, because I am just corny like that. We got a lot to talk about today. So look at this. Closing Department of Education is surprisingly popular once voters hear details. Are we shocked? If people don't have the facts, then they don't know. So yeah, that makes sense. And I do agree. The Republicans, the conservative amendment, we need to do a better job on telling everybody what's up. What's the stats? What's all this stuff about? All the good things Trump has been doing. And stop with this nonsense of being divided. Are you better off with Biden? Were you? Are things getting better? Was you sick of the woke? Hell, he's trying to get these illegals out. But what is the left doing? Roadblock after roadblock. Taking them to court every time they turn around. Oh no. There's some judge trying to let the illegals go that they've been holding. That's like, good Lord. We know where the crap lies, and it's at the foot of the left-wing party. Court rules in Ohio. Schools and school districts. The pronouns policy violates First Amendment rights. You think? So we had, again, here's the stupid libtards wasting everybody's money and time to drag this shit to court. That children do not want to call, if they don't want to call you by your stupid pronoun, then they don't have to. And I hope this sweeps across the whole United States, and let's stop this nonsense. So that's just another factor in this big thing that I think the right is doing, and doing a great job. So I stumbled across this article. Closing the Department of Education is surprisingly popular once voters hear details. This is just a quick little article. Washington. A majority of registered voters back closing the Department of Education when they learned key details on how it would work. A shocking poll finds. Do we need a poll? Just watch the news, see what's going on TikTok, the education stats, where we're at in reading, where we're at in math. It's insane. Here's my girl, and here's your girl, Harrison Faulkner. I really like her. Let's see what she has to say about the education in America. It says appalling. Host stunned by new reports on test scores.
Well, look at this new report from the University of California, San Diego, painting an alarming picture about the state of education in our country. And I literally mean, look at it. The report found that 1 in 5 of the nation's schools' incoming students fail to meet the statewide entry-level writing requirement. And for math, it isn't much better. 1 in 8 incoming freshmen also have math skills below the middle school level. And in that same report, they pulled some examples of math questions that were given to incoming college students on their entry exam. And here's what they found. That first one you see on your screen is a first grade math question. 7 plus 2 equals what? That's a blank. What plus 6? The answer is 3. Only 75% of incoming college students could get that right. The second one, the second grade question. Sarah had 9 pennies and 9 dimes. How many coins did she have in all? The answer is 18. Only 79% got the right answer. Emily, what is going on?
You know, frankly,
That's just crazy. I don't know if it was my headset or the sound was sound. It sounded like some kind of swishing noise in the headset. So I don't know what's happening there. I don't know what's going on. First grade, only 75% got it. And this is going into college. Now I'm going to put this link in the description, and you guys can go watch the whole thing. I think I didn't watch like the last 2 minutes of it because I had to leave. But as they were going around the panel, I guess it's the Faulkner report or whatever, and they got a panel there, and they all talk about something. And they all get to each say their opinion, but some of them were blaming it on like the Board of Education. They're blaming it on liberal schools, blah blah blah. And guys, I'm gonna say it. I didn't hear not one of them blame a parent. So, yeah, I said it. I think parents are 50%. Maybe the school's another 50%. Parents out there, if you don't think your kids are learning doodly squat, then I would highly recommend that you pick up that ball and you start teaching them how to read using phonics. Get them, there's books. You can go to Walmart. I used to get them for my kid when he was younger, especially during the summer. Get them those books on reading where they read and they answer questions, or they have little spelling tests. So you can get the math books and then move up to another grade. They're all grade specific, and start covering some of this stuff and even going over history. You have to do this at home and take the damn phone away from them. Take the video games away from them, and do not have a television in their room. They're just completely distracted. You want your kid to succeed, then they need to stay off of social media. They need to stop playing video games 24/7. Y'all know what I mean. They be wanting to play that game real quick. No. And look, and then when they start doing good and you give them the games back, it's going to the whole cycle's going to repeat. So you have to stay vigilant all the time. Like I tell my kid, there's plenty of time later on down the road if you want to use some of your social time or whatever to do these things. But right now, you have to stay focused. You have to stay focused. So listen, a shocking poll found. That just cracks me up. It's so shocking. It's just a shocking poll. When asked about shutting the Department of Education and giving no other details, 51% opposed that, compared to 38% who support it. According to a survey commissioned by the Yes Every Kid Foundation, a nonprofit that promotes school choice and is supported by the I guess you'd say, what is that, Koch Network? Koch? I do support school choices, but even if your kid's a little turd, right? And y'all know if your kid's a turd or not, all right? Because some of them are. Let's be real. If you got a voucher and you wanted them to go to a private school, I mean, some of these private schools are a lot stricter than public schools, and your kids start being a turd in class, whipping out his phone and doing a bunch of cray-cray, he's going to get kicked out. And, you'll just have to go put him back in public school. I don't know what else to tell you. But I understand parents will think, well, yeah, man, my kid will probably do better in a private school. But things happen in private schools, too. And they still have to be disciplined at home and taught how to act in a class and taught how to show respect. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But when presented with key details of ending the department, such as preserving K through 12 funding and merging important elements of the department with other agencies, the opposition inverts, with 56% in support and 30% opposed per poll. Well, yeah, once they start seeing how, like, oh my God, you're just passing these kids along. I mean, shouldn't there be some kind of, like, why am I even saying this? But hey, let's just go with it. Shouldn't there be a standard? Shouldn't they have to take some kind of equivalency test before they graduate? Can they read? Can they do first grade math? If you're just passing on 25% of people, that's a big batch. That's a big batch of people to just be pushing along. And then what? They're going to try to get in college and they can't do math? They can't read? Come on. Come on. President Trump has taken executive actions to shrink the Department of Education as much as legally possible. Good for him. Good for him. President Trump and Secretary Linda McMahon are dedicated to improving education for our nation's students, and that begins with empowering those who are closest to the child. Mandy Binderman, Deputy Assistant Secretary for Communications at the Department of Education, told the Post. So, apparently, we can thank Jimmy Carter for implementing the Department of Education in 1979. And it has been on a decline ever since. Because all of a sudden now, boy, oh, you can't pray. You can't do it. Because it was packed with a bunch of libtards. Let's change the history. Let's take books out. Let's just give them ditto sheets. Let's stop teaching them phonics. Which that was like back in, I want to say 87, 88, 89, 90, 91. Back in like 91, 1990 or 91, y'all can go check. Because we were out in California at the time. They stopped. The teacher told me, we don't teach them phonics anymore. We're teaching them visualization. Well, of course, I taught my kid phonics at home. I got a whole thing on phonics and was just doing it that way because I was like, wow, this is kind of crazy. So yeah, on top of the visualization, I can't even talk, and doing the phonics, he could read just fine. He can read just fine. Let's see. I know there's ads all through this. Returning education to the states means revitalizing the federal role in education by removing unnecessary red tape and micromanaged by D.C. while maintaining critical funding for students with disabilities and low-income schools and continuing to protect students' civil rights. So basically, he's wanting to do the same thing they did with abortion, leave it up to the states and let the states vote on it. But for this, let the states have their own, and we all know probably some of these left-wing states, guys, they're still going to probably want to do all this woke crap unless we have a bill across the whole United States to stop this bathroom stuff and locker room stuff. But for this bill I just told you about, that violates the First Amendment rights of students, but they don't have to call somebody by their pronouns and all this crap because you got one kid in the whole school. What's the percentage of that? 1 or 2 kids acting stupid? Just want to cause problems because they want to be called a cat or a he or them or it or whatever, something stupid. Yeah, so I'm glad that went through. Oh, I knew it was going to do that. Let me see. Let me get this down. I hate that. There we go. After being presented with even more details about how eliminating the department would unfold, including a gradual phase-out and protections for students with disabilities, support jumped to 59% with 30% opposed. Well, I think they just need to look at the stats and see what they've done. Look, it's the Board of Education. Stupid teachers unions. I think they should do away with the teachers union. Maybe. I know that lady came out and said everybody's going to have to reapply for food stamps, for SNAP, EBT. They all have to reapply so they can make sure that the people who need it are getting it, and those who don't. Right? I think we need to do a overhaul and reevaluate these teachers. Because I think I've seen some stats on even these schools hiring these teachers because of the unions. The teachers don't have to take certain things or these certain tests. And look, I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I think we're hiring stupid people to teach our kids. We're hiring stupid people who are left-wing ideologues who are indoctrinating our children. We've seen it too many times. So we need to do away with a teachers union and have each state rehire these teachers and make sure they are qualified. And I hope if these states do take over, they start with more discipline. Eliminate the phones. Eliminate somebody standing up and cussing at them. Expel them immediately. Show you ain't playing around. How many videos have y'all seen of kids just being completely uncivil? I mean, completely no home training, no fear of consequences on how they behave in the classroom. It's like this word, well, abolishing. I was going to say astonishing. God, I just glanced down and saw eesh. It's astonishing to me. How I wouldn't have never fathomed behaving in such a way. And if my kids did that, boy, that ain't gonna happen. That you ain't gonna act a fool and be disrespectful to somebody. There's gonna be some serious consequences. Your life is gonna be miserable until you grow up and able to go out on your own. I'm gonna make you so hungry to be independent. And that's what needs to happen. Kids need to be hungry to be independent, and they need to be able to go out and grab life. And they need to know how to read, write. They need to know how to do math. They need to know how to balance a checkbook and be responsible with their money. Abolishing the Department of Education, which was first established in 1979, has been a top priority for President Trump during his second term. Well, eliminating the Department of Education has been a top second-term priority, but he's going to have to he needs Congress. I think they're going to talk about it right here. However, it would take an act of Congress to fully dissolve the department. Republicans lack the votes in the Senate where it would need to clear the 60-vote filibuster, something they would require Democrat support. They should have done away with that filibuster when they had a chance. I don't know if they still can do that, but it needs to go away. It needs to go away. Look what we've sowed out of the Department of Education. Look what we've sowed out of it. Don't take my word for it. Go do a little research on your own. Go do a little research on your own and see how depraved these young people are with no self-respect for themselves or their parents or any other adult. As a result, Trump 79 has taken executive action directing McConaughey to wind down the department to the maximum extent appropriate and permitted by law. Hell yeah. Since the start of the second Trump administration, McConaughey 77 has slashed the Department of Education by nearly half and taken steps to consolidate key programs within the department to prepare for its closure. Well, hell, isn't that special? She's already eliminated half of it, and guess what? Schools are still going. So we know all these stupid-ass departments that liberals have created, and I could probably guarantee probably 90% of them are liberal stupid crap, and maybe there's 20% of Republican stupid crap. Okay? All right, I'll give you that. But come on. all these stupid committees and departments and NGOs funneling all this money. It's just been a slush fund. It's just been a slush fund. The Department of Education has taken in billions of dollars and done nothing. Nothing but make our kids stupider. There's no books. What do you guys think? Don't you think kids should be bringing home books? Remember when you were a kid bringing home books? I'm assuming there's older people watching my show. A book. My teenager right now, I didn't buy him a Kindle. He holds real books, and he reads almost every night. He's got different series of books. He's an avid reader. It's pretty awesome. I mean, I never was an avid reader when I was a teenager. I mean, I'll admit that, but he's an avid reader. He reads all kinds of different book series, and he's interested in, but he's got the real books in his hand. Real books. Not getting him now when he's grown and gone. If he wants a Kindle, sure. I mean, he can do whatever he wants. But he might still want that feel and smell of a book. There's just nothing like it, right? Right? Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. After getting fed the additional information about closing the Department of Education, 56% of respondents said that they would be disappointed if lawmakers in Congress blocked it, compared to 30% who said they would. They wouldn't. They wouldn't. They wouldn't. The survey findings contrast with a melange of polling that pegged closing the Department of Education as unpopular and indicated that the public could be more receptive to the idea if supporters had better messaging. I just find it funny that, duh. How can any of us make any kind of determination about anything unless we had more information to make a logical assumption if you're going to agree with something or not? Maybe you need to get stuff from a couple of different sources, right? Then you could make your opinions known. But I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to know that our education system is crap, is garbage, just garbage. Look at this. The Department of Education was created under President Jimmy Carter. If anything tells you that should tell you everything. Jimmy Carter, one of the worst presidents in history. Now he just might be the second or third under Biden, Obama, and Jimmy Carter. Those three. Unbelievable. In my lifetime, the three crappiest presidents in the history of the United States. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. For example, a whopping 2/3 of respondents were opposed to the eliminating of Department of Education in a poll commissioned over the summer by PDK International, an organization for educators. But last year, the Department of Education touted a $268 billion budget. Where's all this money going? Don't tell me it's going to laptops and iPads, because I know my kid, the last 2 or 3 years, they've been recycling those. In fact, he had an iPad for 8th and 9th. He used the same pad for 2 years in a row. He turned it in, and then they gave him the exact same pad when he came back the following year. He couldn't keep it over the summer, which I had no problem with that. So they're not continuously buying thousands of hundreds of millions of laptops and computers. They're recycling them and giving them to the kid the next year. Now, yeah, do some of them get broke because kids are dumb? But they're making parents pay for that. They had me sign some stuff. Right? So we're kind of responsible. I was like, you better not lay that on the floor and then step on it. I mean, because Dad blamed those. It's an Apple laptop. What are they, like anywhere from $800 to $1,000 to $1,200? For Pete's sake. I'm sure Apple, I'm just assuming, Apple gave... Well, maybe they didn't because it was the Department of Education. Maybe they charged them like like double. Like the toilets and the hammers we used to always hear about. $10 hammer, they charge the government $20. So there's your 280 some billion, guys. Some 44% of respondents surveyed in the Yes Every Kid Foundation poll had backed Trump in the 2024 election, compared to 42% who backed Vice President Kamala Harris. Thank God we dodged a dad blame nuclear bomb. The survey sampled 1,500 registered voters from October 22nd to 23rd, with a margin of error of plus or minus a 2.5 percentage points. Wow. Wow. Look at this. 2.68 billion. Where'd all that money go? Where'd it go? And what was it for? So, I don't know. I'm just asking questions here. So, if this 268 billion went to the Department of Education, then what? Other monies go to the schools across the country who need money, who get funding from the federal government? Or was the 268 billion for all the schools across the whole United States? And somebody can let me know. Let's see if some of y'all can go do some due diligence and do some homework. But 268 billion? No books. Hell, you still have to go buy him paper, notebooks, pencils, all kinds of stuff. Go and get him before school starts, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. But there's no books. There's no history book, social studies book, math book, English book. There's no books. It's unbelievable. Well, tell me what you think about that. That is some crazy, crazy stuff. So, do you think we should eliminate the Department of Education or keep funding it and restock it? Because Trump's already gutted the gal he's got over it. She's done cut it in half. She's done cut it in half and just shrinking it down. Because probably they're looking like, why do we have this person? What is this person doing? What is this person doing? What is this for? Doge at its best. What is all this for? Apparently it was for nothing if they were able to get rid of them. Because it was just useless positions. And the left is on fire. The left is on fire. Because Trump gutted the Board of Education. He's getting out illegals. They hate him so bad. They're so pissed at him for saying we don't have enough smart people. They're mad at him about the H-1B visas. Now, I am with Trump on we need more smarter people. Now, does the H-1B visa need to be overhauled? Absolutely. People do not need to be coming in here and driving Ubers or working at the restaurants or just regular jobs that Americans could be taking. This should be specifically for the best. If we are lacking technical skills in certain areas, then limit how many people can come in while we're educating our own. And again, Trump had already said a few weeks ago, we need more programs for schools to learn for trades. We need to be encouraging this in high school. Maybe possibly as early as middle school. Capture these kids' interests in these stem cell jobs that are the future. Yeah, we're always probably going to need an electrician, but electrical stuff is going to, I think it's going to get even more complicated with all this AI stuff and the new way they got to set things up. Well, people's homes are still going to need electrical. They're still going to need plumbing. You're still going to need construction. People want to remodel. These are all good trades. Automotive. All of these are fantastic trades that we're always going to need. Not everybody's going to be able to get into the stem cell jobs because we are all different. Not all of us are a brainiac like we're Albert Einstein. It's just not going to happen. But hey, like and subscribe and tell me what you think today about the Board of Education. Should it stay or should it go? And there you have it. There you go.